Did you quish your octopus? Don't worry, there's an API for that. These stories and much more on today's episode of MSP Dispatch.
This episode is presented by OIT VoIP, the channel's expert in telecommunications and distributed networking. We create business for your company to help you grow and reach your targets. Learn more at oit.co or call 844-CALL-OIT today.
Good morning and welcome to the October 31st episode of MSP Dispatch, your spooky source for news, community events, and commentary in the MSP channel. I'm Ray Orsini, joined as always by my co-host, Mr. Tony Francisco. How you doing, Tony?
Good, brother. It is so good to have you back. You're coming back on Halloween, and you've been gone. But this show, it's fascinating because we're going into this theme of, hey, it's Halloween, it's scary. No. We talk about the scariest stuff every single day, and this is just another day. Just another. You guys, yeah. Everyone calls it Halloween. Whatever. How are you doing? Talk to me.
To us, it's just another security breach, 0-day password stolen, no MFA using, just normal kind of day. I mean, right? Yes? No? Possibly? I don't know.
So my eyes are blinking Morse code for help me, just for everyone out there.
I believe that's what your credit card bill is saying after all your
because of you. Just so you understand. Your absence has literally seen a lull. I had mint.com alert me that you are doing so good on spending.
Mint's like you're keeping your balances down, and then what the hell just happened? So, in honor of our dumpster fire of the week stories that we've done every once in a while, the dumpster fire word, we have dumpster fire stickers that we will have next week at IT Nation Connect. So if you're at IT Nation Connect, come on by, catch me or any of the MMN staff. We will have stickers for you. So, but for now, Tony, you know what we have for our amazing audience?
What do we have?
News.
Let's get into the news.
In my first story, Google's CEO takes a stand in the monopoly trial, written by NPR.org. In the ongoing monopoly trial, Google is defending its search engine dominance, attributing it to superior technology and consumer preference. The trial, first of its kind in decades, assesses whether Google unlawfully maintained a monopoly. The government argues that Google used exclusive agreements to secure its status as the default search engine on many devices, including a substantial payment to Apple. Google CEO Sundar Pichai is a key witness expected to testify that Google's primary focus has always been delivering the best search product to consumers, and that this has benefited the competition. The trial has raised transparency concerns due to closed-door testimonies and document sealing. Google contends that its product quality, not the exclusive deals, is its advantage. The trial's outcome could have significant consequences, from maintaining the status quo to potential fines or restructuring. Tony, we did this once. It was the 80s or 90s, I forget which one, and there was a different company, a little tiny Northwest company called, what was it? Microsoft?
It rhymes with Microsoft, I think.
Well, we did this, right? We did the decoupling Internet Explorer from the OS, and there was the Korean version that didn't have Internet Explorer at all in the operating system. We've done this rodeo, and Microsoft now has 9 different billion-dollar divisions. So I'm going to go ahead and say it doesn't matter. What does it matter to you, dude?
You hit it on the head. Where's it saying, I know of no way of foretelling the future but by the past. And in this particular case, if you look back at Microsoft, what occurred in the late 80s and even early 90s, the result of that was the decoupling of the browser. But the reality was that the operating system itself, the OS itself, was so dominant that should have been the play. The problem in there was not because Microsoft was the monopoly, but because there was considered a triopoly, and they considered Microsoft first place, Apple OS second place, and if any remembers, IBM's operating system. That was what was it called?
Excuse me, I was rebooting OS Warp. Give me a second.
Yeah, that warp. Thank you. Because I actually wrote a letter, believe it or not, to the Department of Justice saying, listen, technically, it has such a small sliver of a market share. You could count flavors of Unix back then as a operating system competitor.
Yeah, there were more NetWare users than there were.
Exactly. But the reality is, just like at the Al Capone scandal, they couldn't chase Microsoft for the operating system, so they said, "Fine, the browser. Let's pluck the browser out." And then Microsoft says,
going
"Okay,
after
fine."
their accounting is what we're saying.
That's just like, here, we can't go after you after all the other things. Let's go after the accounting. There's your weak, because they have to have a formulaic approach for prosecution. In the case of Google saying, "Hey, listen, you actually do have a good way to look up stuff, and we all use it, and because it is that good, we don't choose anything else." But you know what we're gonna do?
It's a verb now, right?
You paid Apple to be in there, and that's not fair.
Oh no, you created a business partnership. Oh no. And the irony of this is, I don't think that any of these legislators really understand how data lakes or data repositories is supposed to work. To become the best search engine, you have to have access to as much data as humanly possible. Now, a lot of the data repos, they understand, especially today in 2023, the value of that data, right? Data is gold today. So to get these business partnerships, you got to give up a little something too. It's not like Google's just saying, we're going to have all the data, period. They're absolutely paying for access to some of the data. They're doing some of these other creative deals. They're doing these things to further their business. And it's not like you don't have other options. You can go Bing something. I mean, if you hate yourself, you know what I mean? DuckDuckGo is great as long as you ignore these security concerns. Like there's other options out there. But yes, Google's the de facto. It's not the default. I don't think Google is default on iOS anymore, right? Like they moved that back to Bing took the contract starting next year. I want to say. I know Google was going to lose their contract for it. Don't forget Yahoo still exists. I mean, if you believe in ghost stories.
But can we play that out though? Can we think about what we're saying right now? We're talking about Microsoft. Let's pretend, for example, that was completely dissected, like it was just taken apart, and somehow they dismantled it, like the Ma Bells into the Sprints and AT&Ts, etc., and dismantled. And we fast forward a couple decades. What would happen? Well, we know for a fact that even though it wasn't dismantled, other competitors are jumping in, and that, of course, the funding of Apple, et cetera, and there's a variety of other components. Linux, the advent of Linux was just so overwhelming that I guess we had to partner with them now. But now let's look at Google, OpenAI, ChatGPT, Claude.com. You're looking at that is not a joke to them. That is a real deal. That's a Linux to Microsoft. And so if we let it play out, things will happen. What we have to prevent is not these monsters from growing. We have to prevent the monsters from stomping out competition in a way that is not conducive to growth. And I think that this is my personal opinion. I'm strongly opinionated. We can talk about this all day. Patents are just wildly stunting the evolution of progress in technology.
Yeah, they were made to protect the creator, and they ended up just being a business transaction.
Yeah.
And now
I'll
they do more harm than good. Yeah, I agree.
Let's talk. What are your thoughts?
Come to the Discord. Come talk to us about this, because you bring up a good point, right? There were the bells, right? We had all the baby bells come out of. We had exactly this with the telcos. Good thing AT&T is not a giant monopoly today. Oh wait, the only difference is AT&T and T-Mobile and Verizon now get together, and they're even worse than monopoly, because now the three of them are just the bullies in the room. And if you want to hear more about that, buy me a drink at ITNC, and I will chew your ear off for the next 16 hours. All right, Tony. But for now, it's Halloween. I've heard about phishing. I've heard about smishing. I want you to scare me with something new. You got any ghost stories for me?
Oh, I do. Yes, I don't even know. Yes, we're going to talk about quishing. Let's do it. And I do. My first story from hackread.com. Checkpoint's Harmony email team reported a startling 587% increase in QR code phishing. That's quishing. I couldn't find anything to rhyme with that from absolutely do. But quishing attacks have been, since August and September 2023, again increased by 587%. These attacks lure users into visiting credential harvesting websites through QR codes, exploiting their widespread use for payments, menu scanning, and information access. QR codes hide malicious links, and attackers use social engineering tactics such as fake emails claiming to be Microsoft to trick users into re-authenticating. To counter quishing, security solutions can use optical character recognition, that's OCR, to detect malicious code QR codes and analyze their underlying URLs. Users should be cautious when scanning QR codes in email messages, especially without verifying the sender. Security professionals must adopt OCR, AL, ML, and NLP-based security measures to understand the true intentions of messages amid this growing threat. Ray, how many times have you and I been at a table and there's a QR code and we just watch people scan it and both you and I go,
It's just, it kills me because every security researcher on the planet, don't scan rogue QR codes. Every restaurant on the planet, scan our QR code for the menu. I went to the airport, and the thing that kills me, so I just got back from, we drove to Nashville, but I flew to Scottsdale or Phoenix. And in the airport, every single restaurant has those little cards on the table. And if it's me, and I really wanted to do this, I'd put it on the table underneath the glass top, right? So it can't be messed with. Maybe. Of course, this was like on a little card right on top. It was a sticker already. It could have already been somebody. Like if I was nefarious, I just start slapping stickers. I'm having my own word vomit. Anyway, if I was smart, I'd go start slapping stickers in the airport, and you're going to get at least some. And there's so much traffic, you're never going to get caught. Like, I'm not saying do this, please don't go and say MSP Dispatch. I'm Tony Francisco, by the way, in case you do it. But you get what I'm saying. Like, this happens all the time. I want to be fair. I've never scanned a QR code that it didn't give me the URL there. Now, if it gives you a short code URL, personally, I know about it. I'm not doing it. Even at a restaurant, I'll ask for a regular menu. I'm not scanning some short code that I can't, or some short bit.ly link that I can't tell where it's going. Or I'll use their phone to do it, which they never offer to do. But it just seems like these things are getting worse and worse. I'm going to go ahead and I may be killing MSP Dispatch for the foreseeable future, but I'm going to go ahead and give a single news headline that'll cover all of these stories. Okay. If you have a way to communicate with somebody else, you're almost guaranteed that method can be hacked at some point in time. Period. Like, that's it. No more stories anymore. That's the last.
We're done.
Dispatch, take care.
It's a good show.
Am I wrong?
It's a good show.
Am I? I mean, 587%.
So let's play this out, and this is for everyone listening right now. We have a lot of good banter here. We have our own opinions, but rest assured, Ray and I have experience. The good news is everyone else has experience that can understand, if not relate, to exactly what Ray and I are talking about. So if we're talking about sitting in an airport, let me tell you personal experience. First and foremost, QR codes, devastating. However, unless there's an operating system attack somehow through the URL redirect, it's going to be pretty, if you have just basic common sense, it's going to be pretty easy to say, hey, this doesn't make sense. Okay.
And so, some of these articles don't make it clear. The attack is not that you scanned a QR code. That's not what makes it vulnerable. It's that you act like an idiot and put your credentials into a website. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the problem.
That's over. I feel like that's the easiest one to overcome. Education, simple common sense. The second one, we're talking an access point. You're looking at the public Wi-Fi in the airport. Guess what? I personally have set up bridging where I set up an access point that says, hey, listen, I'm setting up to airport WAP, wireless access, airport Wi-Fi. And then what I do is I set up free airport Wi-Fi, and I walk around and people jump on it. I become the proxy. I'm the man in the middle, and I'm sniffing everything. And just for fun to show how easy it is to do. Can't really control that, but you can if you see airport Wi-Fi and then free airport Wi-Fi, and you're like, which one? Just go ask somebody, okay? And you'll figure out which one is correct. Then you have charging stations. Don't plug your phone into anything that's not yours. And even if it is yours, and you buy it,
like I do, right?
Yeah.
You have the
Yes.
USB condoms. Yeah.
Yes. And I keep on
But also,
little
I just
wireless.
bring bricks. I
That's
know you love the magnetic thing. I just bring a brick. It's wireless. It has my little lightning and USB-C. And if I want
That's
to
it.
charge it, I just charge it from that and then plug in USB-C here, my stuff. And I know it's just an electrical connection.
Well, so here, let me explain to you, and because we're going over time on this, but then we have the chip that was inserted into all those devices from China that you cannot get around. So even though you buy it and hey, you got a great deal on it because it's from China, and it has something installed that now it's kind of like the LOL cable where you plug it into your phone to charge it. Boom, they have everything, absolutely everything, and there's no difference. There's no distinctive difference between an LOL cable and an Apple cable. They look identical. They feel identical. So for the love of God, everyone, please, 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 just understand the basic stuff to avoid. Use common sense. And please be safe. But we're running over time, and I really want to talk about, because we just covered like 6, 10, 8 different things. Eight different things. What else has 8 something that involves security and cyber? Ray, you can talk about that.
Sorry, I was actually just on AliExpress buying some plushy octopus. Octopi?
Octopuses?
Octa something. Which does take me to my next story. And in my last story, Microsoft Octopus Cyberattackers evolved to most dangerous status, written by Tara Seals for Dark Reading. Microsoft has classified the Octopus Cyberattack Group as one of the most dangerous financial criminal groups due to its escalating sophistication. The English-speaking group, known as Scatterswine, or UNC 3944, engages in adversary-in-the-middle techniques, otherwise known as AITM, social engineering, and SIM swapping. They've been involved in cryptocurrency theft, data leak extortion, and high-profile ransomware attacks, such as the ones targeting MGM and Caesars Entertainment. Microsoft's analysis highlights the group's evolving tactics, including the use of Azure Data Factory and automated development pipelines for data exfiltration via Secure File Transfer Protocol, or SFTP servers. The group also registers legitimate Microsoft 365 backup solutions for data exfiltration. These developments pose challenges for organizations, emphasizing the need for strong cybersecurity plans, employee education, and vigilance against social engineering and unpatched software. Tony, I'm just going to dress up as like a malware attacker for Halloween. I at this point, oh wait, I am dressed as one. Wait, hold on. I think that does the job, right? Like that's it. According to the interwebs. Tony, most dangerous. Is this like Microsoft's most wanted list for malicious actors?
Well, mixed emotions on this one. In the story, they talk about they've been involved in cryptocurrency theft, which is clearly monetary related, and that's what funds this. They're after money. They're not. Most of these hackers aren't doing it for fun, but the fact that they are involved with Azure and they have data exfiltration tactics, that means it could spread anywhere, and not just from a cryptocurrency perspective, but into ransomware at a bringing a business to its knees level. And that's where things get scary, because the moment they taste that power, they do what every single ransomware group does with power. They look for more power. And when that occurs, they say, hey, we're the biggest. Hey, Ray, if we go upstream just a little bit, we can attack all these people, and we've seen that, and that's where I'm concerned. The fact that we're talking about an organization now that has not just a historical relevance in crime at a cryptocurrency level, but and they've moved into Azure, into Microsoft, into mainstream business. I feel like the next step is almost imminent, and we already have enough of these organizations. So what are your thoughts? How can we prevent ourselves from being open to more organizations? Is there going to be a government intervention? Is there going to be a standardization on accountability? What are your thoughts?
Nope. I mean,
I'm going on with my deep. This is deep. This is
deep,
there's like a
deep.
cathartic revelation occurring inside me of that exploding knowing of what I thought was. Now I'm reconciling to what is, and nope. There's your hope.
No, it was super poignant and salient and all that fun things. But the only thing I could think of to do to not get hacked is just get offline and be like, you know what I mean? Like, no. So you said this in our first story. It's about or second story, or when I introed my own story. Watch the bloopers if you don't know what I'm talking about. This was said, education trumps all. As long as it's, yes, we definitely need engineers, very, very smart UI, UX engineers, designers. We need smart people to figure out how to make this easier. Passwordless is a step in the right direction. Tokenization is a step in the right direction. Put a chip in me, I'm ready, boss. But until that, and let's be honest, the easier it gets, they're just going to find new ways to attack. It's not about the tools, it's about the education. And as MSPs, we're best poised to educate the users. And just like when we were in college and high school and elementary school, and for some of us kindergarten, users don't always pay attention. They don't always want to hear the lesson. Offer them some cookies and, let them have their snack time. You laugh, but how many times have you done a lunch and learn, right? They bring you food and then listen to you talk about whatever you want to talk about. Well, that's just snack time for adults. And I think it's on the MSP to figure out how to better educate the users in a way that the users, we've all complained, we've all heard the users don't want to listen, they don't want to learn, it's too complicated, blah, blah. I get it. It's still our jobs to make it better. So tell us how you make it better. Hit us up on the Discord. Let us know. Hit us up in chat. Hit us up in the comments. Tell us that users will never be willing to do MFA. And then I'll remind you that my wife, this week, when we were staying in Atlanta, she says to me, we're staying in Atlanta. And she says, I heard hotel Wi-Fis are super insecure. How do I securely connect to the office? This is my wife. I am so impressed. Thankfully, I was able to tell her we already use Tailscale. It's like, that is our full deployment. We do full send over the VPN. So it really doesn't matter. But I was very proud of her, and I taught her how to use the hotspot on the phone. And my wife is not technical in the least bit. So if she can do it, you guys can do it. But for now, what you can do, Tony?
Tell me.
Give me some of those good notables, man.
Ooh, we got some good ones. Jumping straight into my first notable mention from TechCrunch.com. Instagram's Adam Mosseri has confirmed the development of a Threads API, allowing developers to create unique apps and experiences. He expressed concerns about an increase in publisher content overshadowing creators, but acknowledged the necessity of this development. Initially, the team will focus on the content publishing endpoints for the API. The move could benefit creators and developers, making it easier to design platform-specific features. An open Threads API could lead to a healthier app ecosystem similar to Twitter and Reddit. With around 100 million monthly users, this development, alongside plans to integrate Threads into Fediverse, could provide more exploration options for users and meet their feature demands effectively. In my next notable mention from cybersecuritynews.com, iLeakage, not to be confused with iLeakage, the letter I, iLeakage is a new attack that lets hackers steal email addresses and passwords through Apple Safari. This JavaScript-based transient execution attack can bypass typical defenses and works on various iOS browsers. It even retrieves data from LastPass managed accounts and functions with Chrome for iOS. The attack demonstrates how Spectre vulnerabilities still affect Apple's M1 CPUs, highlighting the need for browser-based side-channel attack knowledge. iLeakage impacts all Apple devices from 2020 with ARM processors, leaving no detectable traces. Countermeasures suggested by cybersecurity researchers include site isolation, speculation prevention, and memory safety under speculation.
In my first notable mention, VMware fixes critical code execution flaw in vCenter server. Written by Sergio Gatlan for Bleeping Computer. VMware has issued critical security updates to fix a vulnerability CVE 2023-34048 in vCenter server, allowing potential remote code execution attacks. This flaw, related to an out-of-bounds write issue in vCenter's DCE RPC protocol, poses a significant threat, but there is no evidence of active exploitation so far. To address this, VMware has released patches through standard update mechanisms and extended support to end-of-life products. Admins are urged to tightly control network access to vSphere management components and monitor specific network ports. Additionally, a partial information disclosure vulnerability, CVE 2023-34056, has also been patched. Organizations are advised to act swiftly and consult their information security teams, or MSPs, to determine the best course of action. In my second notable mention, Google's Bard chatbot now responds in real time. Written by Emma Roth for The Verge. Google's Bard AI chatbot now provides real-time responses, allowing users to see answers as they are generated. Users can toggle between respond in real time and respond when complete options. If unsatisfied with the response, users can cut off the bot mid-sentence using the skip response button. The chatbot also offers alternate responses and the ability to modify responses for a more casual or professional tone, as well as summarize multiple emails simultaneously. In my resource of the week, what's new in Microsoft 365 October 2023 edition? Written by T-365. Whether it's boosting collaboration, security, or customization, Microsoft 365's October 23 updates have something for everyone. Teams users can now forward chat messages to improve collaboration, while admins can gain control through private team discovery. Additionally, users can engage quickly in chat with missed call contacts, and creative options are available with custom backgrounds for announcement posts. For added security, Microsoft introduces end-to-end encrypted meetings for up to 200 participants, and collaboration becomes seamless with loop components arriving in channels. These updates, along with Azure AD enhancements, provide Microsoft 365 users with a more productive and secure environment.
And in our feedback from the YouTubes, at Steve Kazan says, congrats to Tim and Compliance Risk. If you missed it, I did a brief story with Tim at Compliance Risk on their funding, their entire new rollout. Check out the story. The link is right there.
There are plenty of amazing upcoming events taking place across the community, so let's see what's happening this week. Later today, Halloween at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, Cybersecurity Horror Stories presented by Huntress. And tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, before the event, Strategies for Success presented by Channel Program. And then also tomorrow through the second and in-person event, the MSP Revenue Generator in Atlanta, Georgia. And coming from the MSP Media Network this week, we have later today at 1 p.m., Pitch It Finalist Spotlight featuring VCIO Toolbox. And then a little bit later, even today at 4 p.m. Eastern Time, we're going to be doing Spooky Cybersecurity Jeopardy Halloween Special for MSPs. And tomorrow at 1 p.m., one more Pitch It Finalist Spotlight featuring Nodeware. And then later that same day at 7:30 p.m., we'll have Wins and Losses Episode 11. And then on the 2nd at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time, the Tech Bar Episode 65 coming to you from IT Nation Connect and IT Nation Gives Back Party.
Hey, I'm Powerhouse Ray.
And I'm Super Cousin Danny.
And we're the hosts of
The Tech Bar.
Pull up a stool with us every other Thursday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern for drinks, jokes, and games with your friends in the MSP channel. So how'd you like today's episode? If you liked it, hit the thumbs up button. If you didn't, go ahead and hit it 3, 5, 7 times. You know the deal. And if you want to hit more, go ahead and hit that subscribe button on the YouTubes or your favorite podcatcher. Did you know we also have a Discord where we post stories all week? You can propose your own stories and even vote on which ones we'll cover. As my friend Rich Spanky says, make sure to tell a friend. Also, be sure to follow us on social media at MSP Media TV. Have any questions? Email news@mspmedia.tv for answers on the next episode, or leave us a voicemail, 833 MSP Network. I mean, Tony, we have Quishing, we have Octopi, we have me leading into my own stories because I don't know how to follow show notes.
That was the best jump, just so everyone understands. We do the lead-ins to each other's story, and he does this lead-in, and I said, I don't know the answer to your question. I'm very confused. And then he goes, your next story. Oh, that's my next story. So he did a lead-in, rated a lead-in to himself, but it was beautiful the way he did it.
I go above and beyond, even when I don't intend to, and it has no productive purposes whatsoever. But unlike my nonsense, I do appreciate you and the information you bring every week. I appreciate when you cover when I'm not here. Thank you so much once again. And congrats once again to our friend Tim Golden over at Compliance Risk for his success. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, take care of yourselves and each other.
I appreciate you, brother, and our entire audience. Everyone be safe.
This has been a broadcast of the MSP Media Network.
Good morning and welcome to the October 30th episode of MSP Dispatch. Oops, 31st, not 30th. God damn it. But for now, I want to know, Tony, what's has 8 legs, lives in the sea, and squirts ink?
I don't know.
Your next story?
Oh, yes.
A Microsoft Octopus story. I was waiting for you to say my next story.
No, it's QR codes.
Oh, that's my story. I led my own story in. Yeah, I did.
You did your own lead-in.
Tony, you're not holding up your end of the bargain, so I'm just going to lead my own stories in.
I know, but there's your B-reel right there. I'm like, I don't know what is happening here. Did he just?
Yeah, it's a QR code. Oh, good Lord.